Hi guys, welcome to another video. Have you ever wondered what an echo is? So consider this guy standing in position X and this guy is carrying a siren, and the siren generates a sound wave, and the sound wave reaches this building and this building reflects that sound wave, and the guy hears the sound wave for the second time. This is what we call an echo. You can think of an empty wall. When you scream, you hear a sound, and then after a few seconds, you hear the sound for the second time. These are examples of echoes. So it says a man standing between two buildings, as shown in the diagram below, sounds a siren. He hears an echo of the sound produced by the siren from building 1 after 8 seconds, and an echo from building 2 after 6 seconds. The question goes on further to say that the distance between the man in building 1 is 1,366 meters. So that's that distance there. The men in both buildings are on the same plane and in a straight line. So the first question says, calculate the speed of sound in A. So to answer this question, we have to list all the information we have and all the information we're looking for. So the velocity or the speed of the sound is what we're looking for, and that we just represent with a question mark. We've got the distance between the man and the building. We can call it D1. D1 represents the distance between the man and building 1, and that is 1,366 meters. And also earlier on we saw that the man sirens an alarm, so it generates a sound wave, and the sound wave reaches the building and returns to the man in 8 seconds. So the time taken for this journey, the journey of this sound wave, the echo, is 8 seconds. So the whole journey is 8 seconds. It means that the time taken for the sound wave to reach the building would then be half the time, which is 4 seconds. And another 4 seconds is the time taken for the sound wave to return to the source. So the time taken for the sound to reach the building, represented by T1, is 4 seconds. Remember, we're not interested in the whole 8 seconds because we just want to figure out the time it takes the sound waves to get to the building, because we have the distance from the man to the building, T1, to be 1,366 meters. So we can use the formula V is equals to distance over time, and then we can just substitute. So this is 1,366 over 4, which gives us 341.5 meters per second. So the next question says determine the distance x between both buildings. So they want us to find this value here, the distance between the two buildings. I think that is quite straightforward. If we can find the distance between the main and the second building, let's call it D2, we can find x because we have D1, and we can simply add D2 to D1 to find the full distance x. So let's go about finding the distance between the main and the building, the second building. Remember, when the siren is alarmed, when the man sounds the siren, it takes a total of 6 seconds for the sound to reach the building and return to the source, the echo. So this full journey here takes 6 seconds. So it means for the sound waves to arrive to the building, the second building from the source would take half the distance, which is 3 seconds. So we have T2 to be 3 seconds. So T2 represents the time taken for the sound waves from the source to reach the building, the second building. And we also have the speed of sound in air to be 341.5 meters per second. We have the time it takes the sound waves to reach the second building to be 3 seconds. And we're looking for D2. We don't have that, so we can just use the speed equation, which is v is equals to distance over time, and we have, this implies that the speed is 341.5 meters per second is equals to, let me just use D2 and T2 here. T2 is what we're looking for, and then the time it takes the sound waves to move from the source to the second building is 3 seconds. So therefore T2 is equals to 341.5 times 3, which is equals to 1024.5 meters. So we can, on our sketch, we can just write D2, the distance between the source and the second building, to be 1024.5 meters. So now we can find X. So X therefore is equals to D1 plus D2, which is equals to, D1 is 1366 meters plus 1024.5 meters, and this is equals to 2390.5 meters. Guys, if you have any questions or any uncertainties, or maybe you don't understand something, please feel free to ask me in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.